The message didn't come privately. Of course it didn't. It landed in the family group chat pinned there for everyone to see. From my brother. "Don't come to my engagement party. You'll embarrass me in front of her family." That was it. No greeting, no explanation. Just a sentence that felt like a door slammed shut. My mother reacted first. 3 red hearts. Rapid fire. Like applause. My father followed with a laughing emoji, the kind you send when something is supposed to be funny, when someone else is supposed to swallow it. I stared at the screen while the blue glow from my phone bled into the dark of my studio. The hum of equipment was steady. A cooling fan clicked on and off behind me. Somewhere in the building, a dishwasher clanged metal on metal, repeating like a bad thought. That was the second something in me snapped. I typed 2 words. Understood. Sent. I flipped the phone face down and went back to work. If you've ever had family treat you like you don't matter, like you're an inconvenience, they keep around until you're useful. Hit like, subscribe, stay with me. Because this isn't about one message. It's about what happens when people mistake your silence for permission. My name is Lena Hart. I'm 34, and I design bodies for a living. Not tattoos, not makeup. I build visual illusions, light pigment projection skin turned into moving art for campaigns, stage performances, fashion launches. The kind of work that doesn't exist long enough to hang on a wall, but lives forever online. The kind brands pay for quietly and brag about loudly. Half the people scrolling their phones at night have seen my work. They just don't know my name. My family does. They've just never said it with pride. To them, I'm the strange one, the one who never got a real job. The one who moved out early, worked odd hours, didn't fit neatly into holiday conversations. The one they explain away when someone asks. She does. Creative stuff. The message was supposed to finish me off. Cut me out clean. No scenes, no mess. I believed that for exactly one night. The next morning, the studio lights were already on when the doorbell started screaming, not ringing, leaning, someone pressing it like if they held it down long enough the door would apologize and open faster. I was mid-session hand steady adjusting a reflective gel along a model's shoulder blade while a soft white wash of light followed the curve of her spine. The room smelled faintly of alcohol wipes and ozone. My assistant froze across the room, eyes flicking to the door. The bell didn't stop. Then the door burst open. My mother came in first, cheeks flushed, purse clutched tight under her arm like a shield. My father followed, jaw set, wearing the expression he saves for conflict he believes he's entitled to win. Then my brother Ethan, perfectly styled even at 9 in the morning. Linen shirt, watch too expensive for his own paycheck. And behind him, a woman I didn't recognize. She paused just inside the door, sunglasses pushed up into her hair, took in the space, the lights, the screens, the half-finished illusion glowing on the body in my chair. My mother didn't bother lowering her voice. "Your grandmother called us in tears," she snapped. "She saw the message. She thinks we're ashamed of you." The model inhaled sharply. My fingers never stopped moving. My father crossed his arms. "You couldn't just let it go. You had to make it a thing." I finally looked up. I sent 2 words. My brother scoffed. 2 words that made us look heartless. The woman behind him stared at the wall display, then at the live feed monitor, then at me. "Wait," she said. "Lena Hart." I didn't answer. She took a step closer. Her voice dropped. "You're that Lena Hart, the one who did the Mirage launch visuals, the one Vogue tagged last fall." The model smiled without lifting her head. "Yeah, that's who's working on me." Silence hit the room hard. My brother's mouth tightened. "This isn't the time." My mother waved her hand. "It doesn't matter what she does. The point is, you told your sister not to come." The woman cut in. "Because she'd embarrass you." That was the first crack. My brother didn't deny it, didn't correct it, just said, "It's complicated." That was the third thing in me that snapped. My father exhaled sharply. "We're here because this whole thing has spiraled, and now there's another problem." I already knew what was coming. I could feel it in the way they stood, the way their eyes slid past my face, past my work, straight to calculation. My mother leaned forward. "We're short on funds." There it was. "The venue needs the balance wired by Monday," my father added, "and the decor deposit, just temporarily." My brother didn't look at me. It's my engagement. This is important. The room felt smaller, the hum louder. I could hear the faint click of someone's phone camera behind me. How much I asked. My father said the number like it was nothing. I set my tools down, slowly, one by one. No. My mother's face changed instantly. Don't do this. I'm not doing anything, I said. I'm stopping. You've always helped, my father said softer now. That's what family does. I've always paid, I corrected. My brother finally looked at me. You're really going to ruin this. I held his gaze. You already ruined it. My mother laughed once, sharp and disbelieving. After everything we've done for you. That was the moment. The moment the room tilted. The moment the words landed wrong. I didn't raise my voice, didn't explain, didn't defend myself. I just said, "Get out." She stared at me like she'd misheard. You don't mean that. I walked to the door and opened it. I do. My brother swore under his breath. My father shook his head. My mother stepped closer, her voice dropping low and lethal. You're being dramatic, she said. You've always been dramatic. This is why you don't fit. Then she said the line she'd been saving my whole life. If you'd just been normal, none of this would be happening. That was the sound of the last thread breaking. The door stayed open. The bell silent now, the light from outside spilling in like a boundary. They left. And for the first time, I didn't follow. They didn't leave quietly. They never do. The door slammed hard enough that the glass rattled in its frame. The bell didn't ring this time. It just clanged once, broken and angry like it agreed with them. My assistant didn't look up. Neither did the model. Everyone in the room understood what had just happened. I closed the door myself, turned the deadbolt, clicked it into place. That sound, clean final, did something to my chest. The model finally lifted her head. You okay? I'm fine, I said. And for once it wasn't a lie. I finished the session in silence, lines sharp, light exact. My hands steady in a way they hadn't been all morning. When we wrapped, she hugged me without asking. The kind of hug that doesn't pry, just pressure. Then she left through the side exit, eyes still burning with something like loyalty. The studio emptied out by noon. I thought that was it. I was wrong. At 1:17 p.m., my phone lit up again. Group chat. My father, we need to talk like adults. My mother, this behavior is embarrassing. My brother, you're blowing this out of proportion. I didn't respond. At 1:42, the studio phone rang. I let it ring. At 2:03, the front desk tablet buzzed, someone trying to book a walk-in under a fake name. I declined it without reading. At 2:15, the side door handle rattled. I froze. Then I heard my mother's voice. Muffled, sharp, complaining to someone outside about parking. I moved fast, killed the lights in the main room, motioned my assistant to the back. The studio went dim except for the soft blue of standby screens. I stood behind the partition wall, heart steady, listening. The side door opened. They had followed the model out earlier, watched, waited. My brother stepped in first this time, jaw tight, already annoyed. My parents came right after, and behind them, her. The woman from this morning. Avery. That was her name. I'd heard my brother say it once careless, like she was already background. She stopped dead the second she crossed the threshold. This is different at night, she said quietly. Neon accents glowed faintly along the walls. Reflective panels caught the light and bent it. The unfinished projections from earlier hovered like ghosts over blank, skin-toned mannequins. Avery walked farther in without asking. My mother hissed, "Avery, honey, maybe wait by the door." "No," Avery said. "I want to see." She stood in front of the feature wall, the one with press clippings, campaign stills, credits so small you'd miss them if you weren't looking for proof. Her fingers hovered, not touching. "You did all of this?" she asked. Alone, I stepped out from behind the wall. "Yes." My brother flinched. "Jesus, Lena." "You're trespassing," I said calmly. My father scoffed. "Don't be ridiculous. This is a conversation." "No," I said. "This is you refusing to leave." Avery turned slowly, looked at me, really looked. Not the way people do when they're curious. the way they do when something doesn't line up with the story they've been fed. "Why didn't you tell me who your sister was?" she asked my brother. He sighed like he was tired of explaining something obvious. "Because it doesn't matter. That did it." Avery's eyebrows lifted. "Just slightly. It matters to me." My mother jumped in fast. "Sweetheart, what matters is that family issues stay private." Avery didn't take her eyes off my brother. "Did you know she's the reason your last 3 launches went viral?" He stiffened. "What are you talking about?" Avery turned to me. "The Phoenix campaign, the Mirage reveal, the Halo run." I nodded once. She laughed under her breath, not amused, shocked. "I sent those decks to you. You told me they were handled by an outside team." My brother's face went pale. "Avery, you're misunderstanding." "No," she cut in. "I'm understanding very clearly." The air in the studio changed, thickened, like before a storm. My father stepped forward, voice hard. "This has gone far enough, has it?" Avery snapped. "Because from where I'm standing, you've been standing in her work using her money and pretending she doesn't exist." My mother's mouth tightened. "You don't know what you're talking about." Avery turned to her. "Then explain why you told her not to come to the engagement." Silence. My brother muttered, "It wasn't like that." I spoke then. It was exactly like that. My mother rounded on me. "You are not doing this. I already did." Avery's voice dropped. "You told me your family didn't support your career." "They don't," I said. My brother snapped. "That's not fair." Avery looked at him like he'd just insulted her intelligence. "Isn't it?" She walked closer to me, lowered her voice. How long, what? How long have they been taking from you?" my father barked. "That's none of your business." Avery didn't even glance at him. "Answer me." I held her gaze. 9 years. My mother laughed brittle. "That's dramatic." I listed it. Flat, clean, tuition, rent, branding, deposits, emergencies. "Temporary help." My brother exploded. "You offered?" I nodded. I stopped. That was the 4th thing in me that snapped. Avery stepped back like she'd been hit. Her hand went to her mouth, then dropped. "You told me you bought the condo yourself," she said to my brother. He didn't answer. "You told me you paid for the launch," she continued. "The ring? The trip? Still nothing." My mother lunged for control. "Avery, honey, this isn't the time to interrogate." Avery turned on her. "Don't call me honey." The room went dead quiet. She looked back at my brother. "Say something." He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Avery exhaled slowly, straightened, smoothed her jacket. "I need air," she said. Then she looked at me. Something raw in her eyes. Respect, regret. Maybe both. "I'm sorry," she said quietly, "for walking into your space like this." I nodded once. She walked out. My parents turned on me in unison. "You see what you did?" my mother hissed. My father's voice was cold. "You're sabotaging your own brother." My brother stared at the floor. I walked to the door, opened it again. "Out." My mother's voice cracked. Just slightly, just enough to sting. "Don't be surprised," she said, "when you realize you've destroyed your own family." I met her eyes. "No," I said. "I just stopped funding it." And that was the moment the real damage began. They came back the next morning like nothing had happened. No apology, no warning, just entitlement wrapped in exhaustion. I was already at the studio before sunrise. The city outside was still gray, half asleep, the kind of quiet that only exists before people start needing things from you. I had a mug of coffee going cold on the counter and a booking spreadsheet open on my tablet, green blocks stacked so tight they looked almost aggressive. At 7:42 a.m., the front door unlocked. I didn't turn around. My father cleared his throat behind me. The sound carried authority the way he used to do it when I was a kid, and he wanted silence without asking for it. "Lena," he said, "we need to talk." I kept scrolling. My mother sighed. Loud. Performative. "You can't just ignore us forever." I said, "Watch." That was when my brother spoke, voice tight, already irritated. "You're being impossible on purpose." I turned then, slowly. All 3 of them stood there like a united front. My parents flanking Ethan, shoulders squared, expressions rehearsed. No Avery this time. That felt deliberate. They didn't want a witness. They wanted a transaction. My mother glanced around the studio, eyes scanning equipment lights, screens. I caught the calculation immediately. She's always done that, counting what she thinks something is worth. "You've done well for yourself," she said, like it was a concession. "We're proud of you, you know that." That was the first lie. My father stepped forward. "Let's not do this emotionally. Let's be practical." There it was. Ethan rubbed his hands together. "The venue is threatening to cancel. If that happens, everything collapses. Sponsors, press, the whole rebrand. I didn't sit, didn't invite them in. Just leaned back against the counter, arms loose at my sides." "How much?" I asked. My mother blinked. "Excuse me. You didn't come here for closure," I said. "You came here with a number. Say it." My father hesitated just long enough to pretend this wasn't rehearsed. 22,000 by noon. "And another 8, my brother added quickly. "For the floral contract. They're holding it as a courtesy." I laughed once. It came out sharp, surprised me. "That's funny," I said. My mother's face hardened. "What's funny is you acting like this is unreasonable." I nodded. "Right. Because it's never unreasonable when it's my money." Ethan stepped forward. "This isn't about you." That was the moment. The moment the room felt smaller. The moment my pulse slowed instead of spiking. I pushed off the counter and walked to the whiteboard by my desk, picked up a marker, wrote one word: "No." Then I capped the marker and dropped it in the tray. "No money," I said. "Not today. Not ever again." My mother's mouth fell open. "You cannot be serious." "I am." My father's voice dropped into that calm, dangerous register. "You're throwing away your relationship with your family over cash." I met his eyes. "You already did. I just noticed." Ethan scoffed. "You're being dramatic." I tilted my head. "Do you want me to list the amounts that shut him up?" My mother recovered fast. She always does. "You offered. Every time. We never forced you." I took a breath. Slow, deliberate. "Tuition," I said. "Your words were, 'just until he's stable.'" My father frowned. "That was different." "Rent," I continued. "Because the brand deal hadn't paid yet." Ethan snapped. "I paid that back." "No," I said. "You didn't." My mother waved her hand. "You're keeping score now." "Yes," I said. "I always was." Quietly. The silence pressed in. My father tried another angle. "Family helps family." I nodded. "And family doesn't drain one child dry so the other can look successful." Ethan exploded. "You think I asked for this?" I didn't raise my voice. "You asked every time you sent your Venmo with a fire emoji." His jaw clenched. My mother stepped closer, eyes bright, dangerous. "If you don't help him, you're ruining his future." I felt it then. Not anger. Clarity. "I'm protecting mine," I said. My father's patience snapped. "This is about control. You want to punish us." "No," I said. "I want to stop bleeding." Ethan laughed bitterly. "You'll regret this." I nodded once. I regret waiting this long. That's when the doorbell rang. Once. Clean. Deliberate. All 3 of them turned. I didn't move. The door opened. Avery stepped inside. Her face was composed, but her eyes were sharp alert. She took in the room in one glance, clocked the tension instantly. "I left my jacket," she said. Then she looked at my parents, and I realized something on the way here. My mother stiffened. "Avery, this is a family matter." Avery smiled thinly. "So you keep saying." She turned to me. "Are they asking you for money again?" Ethan spun. "That's not—" "Yes," I said. "They are." Avery nodded like a piece just clicked into place. "How much?" My father bristled. "This is inappropriate." Avery ignored him. "How much?" 30,000, I said. She exhaled through her nose. "Of course." My mother snapped. "You don't understand how these events work." "Oh, I do," Avery said. "I also understand budgets and lies." Ethan's voice dropped. "This isn't your concern." She turned on him. "It became my concern when I realized your entire lifestyle is funded by someone you treat like an inconvenience." The room went dead silent. My father pointed at me. "You've been poisoning her against us." Avery laughed. "Short, sharp. You did that yourselves." She faced me. "How long did you say? 9 years?" Her lips pressed together. She walked to the center of the room and turned slowly, taking all of us in. "So let me get this straight. You tell her not to attend the engagement because she'd embarrass you, but you're comfortable taking her money to pay for it." My mother snapped. "That's a gross oversimplification." Avery's eyes went cold. "No, that's the cleanest summary I've heard." Ethan stepped toward her. "Avery, please." She raised a hand. "Don't." He stopped. She turned back to me. "Do you have records?" I didn't hesitate. "Yes." My mother lunged. "Absolutely not." Avery smiled. "Oh, I think absolutely yes." My father barked. "This ends now." I looked at him. "It does." I walked past them to the front desk, opened the bottom drawer. My fingers brushed the edge of the thick binder I hadn't touched in years. I didn't pull it out. Not yet. Avery watched every movement. Ethan's voice shook. "You're going to humiliate me." I looked back at him. "You humiliated yourself when you decided my worth only showed up in your bank balance." My mother's voice broke then. Just a crack, just enough to sting. "We did our best with you," she said. "You were always so difficult." That was the fifth thing in me that snapped. I closed the drawer, turned back to them. "You came here for money," I said. "You're leaving with the truth." Avery met my eyes, steady, ready, and in that moment, I knew whatever happened next was going to be public. The engagement party was supposed to start at 7. By 6:30, the city was already glowing valet lights, bouncing off polished concrete champagne flutes, lining mirrored tables, hired smiles, adjusting their angles for cameras. The kind of event built to look expensive even in bad lighting. The kind where every detail screams control. I wasn't there. I was across town in my studio doors, locked lights low, finishing a private showcase for people who didn't need a backdrop to feel important. Music thumped softly through the floor, not loud yet, just enough to keep the air moving. At 6:41, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I didn't answer. At 6:52, it buzzed again. Then my assistant leaned close and whispered, "Your brother's outside." That was the first public crack. I didn't rush, didn't panic. I walked to the door and opened it just enough to see his face under the neon spill from the street. Tie loosened, hair already damp, that smile he uses when he thinks he can still fix things. "Lena," he said, "we need to talk. Now." I stepped aside and let him in. Behind him came my parents. And behind them, Avery. She didn't look panicked. She looked precise. Makeup flawless. Dress sharp. Jaw set like she'd already made a decision and just needed the room to catch up. The music died the second they walked in. Someone killed it without being told. Phones lifted instinctively. The air thickened. Ethan rounded on me. "Where the hell have you been?" She walked out. I didn't answer him. I looked at Avery. She nodded once. "I told them I needed air." I didn't lie. My mother's mascara had already started to smudge. "This is insane," she hissed. "You're throwing a party while your brother's life is falling apart." I glanced around. The lights, the people, the calm. "This isn't a party," I said. "It's my space." Ethan stepped closer. "Call her," he demanded. "Tell her you exaggerated. Tell her this is a misunderstanding." Avery turned on him. "Don't." The word landed heavy. She faced the room and spoke clearly. I left my own engagement because I finally saw what was under it. My father barked, "This is private." Avery laughed, not amused. "You made it public the second you involved money." She walked to the center of the room. Phones tracked her like satellites. "I listened this morning," she said, "to 9 years of transactions you didn't expect anyone else to hear." Ethan swallowed. "Avery, please." She didn't look at him. She looked at me. "Do you have the records with you?" I nodded. My mother lunged forward. "No, absolutely not." I walked past them, to the front desk, bottom drawer, the one with the stiff hinge and the worn handle. I pulled it open. The binder was heavier than I remembered. Thick, black, tabs sticking out in precise colors, years organized neatly, pain with labels. I carried it into the open and set it down on the rolling table at the center of the room. The sound it made when it hit the surface cut through everything. Phones surged closer. Ethan stared like he'd been punched. "You're really doing this." I met his eyes. "You already did." Avery stepped forward, picked up the binder, opened it. She didn't rush. She turned to the first tab. Read aloud. August 2015. $24,000. Tuition and housing. Gasps. She flipped the page. March 2017. 11,000. Brand relaunch equipment. Another page. January 2019. 32,000. Condo down payment. Ethan shook his head violently. "This is out of context." Avery didn't pause. June 2020. 17,000. Emergency loan. No repayment. My mother screamed, "Stop!" Avery's voice stayed even. February 2022. 21,000. Ring balance. That one hit hard. Phones zoomed. Someone whispered, "Holy shit." She kept going. Flights, styling, coaches, monthly transfers. Just until next month. Just until the deal closes. Page after page. The numbers stacked until they stopped sounding real. Finally, she closed the binder. "Total," she said, loud enough for the back of the room, $468,000. Silence swallowed the space. Ethan's knees locked like he might fall. My father stared at the binder like it was radioactive. "This is a family matter." Avery turned on him, eyes sharp. "No, this is a pattern." She reached up and slid the ring off her finger. Slowly, deliberately. She placed it on top of the binder. Metal on paper. "This," she said, "was paid for by the woman you told not to come because she'd embarrass you." Ethan rushed forward. "We can fix this." She stepped back. "No." My mother sobbed, loud now, uncontrolled. "You're ruining everything." Avery faced her. "You ruined it when you taught him this was acceptable." Then she turned to Ethan. "The wedding is off." The room exploded. Phones flashed. People gasped. Someone clapped once, sharp and involuntary. Ethan's voice broke. "Please." She didn't touch him. "There's nothing left to explain," she said. "I believe receipts." She walked past me, stopped, looked me in the eye. For a split second, her expression softened. Gratitude, solidarity, something earned. Then she was gone. The door closed behind her. The room didn't breathe again for 5 full seconds. Then someone in the back said, "Damn!" Another voice. She walked. Another, "That's brutal." The DJ waited exactly long enough, then dropped the music back in low and slow. Not celebratory, not cruel, just steady. Ethan stood frozen, staring at the ring. My mother wailed. My father tried to guide him toward the exit, muttering about damage control. I didn't move. The binder stayed where it was. A few people stepped closer, reading, processing. Someone whispered, "She funded his entire life." Another said, "And he still tried to erase her." The realization rippled through the room. Not anger, not pity, recognition. That was the moment the narrative flipped. Not because I spoke louder, not because I begged, because the truth finally had a microphone, and it didn't need my voice anymore. The fallout didn't arrive all at once. It crept in, notification by notification. Like a slow avalanche you hear before you see. I didn't stay for the rest of the night. I locked the studio after the room settled, after the binder was returned to my hands, after the ring was left behind, like something radioactive no one wanted to touch. I went home, kicked off my shoes, and sat on the floor with my back against the couch until the city noise faded into a dull hum. I slept for 4 hours. No dreams, no guilt. When I woke up, my phone was already vibrating itself to death. Missed calls, unknown numbers, emails marked urgent, group chat messages that had suddenly gone very quiet, then very loud, then quiet again, in a way that felt permanent. By noon, the first sponsor dropped him. No announcement, no explanation. Just a clean, professional statement about values misalignment. The kind of language that looks neutral but cuts deep. The post hit 6 figures in likes before anyone could spin it. By 2, another followed. By 3, screenshots of the binder were everywhere. Not the whole thing, just enough. Cropped totals, highlighted rows, his name next to mine again and again like a receipt the internet couldn't stop rereading. People didn't argue about whether it was real. They argued about how someone lives like that and still looks down on the person paying the bills. Avery didn't say anything publicly that day. She didn't need to. Her silence did more damage than any caption ever could. She removed every photo of him, every highlight, every trace. Her bio changed to one word, unattached. It trended by dinner. My parents tried damage control next. My mother left me a voicemail. I didn't listen to it. I could hear the pitch just from the preview, the kind of crying that wants forgiveness without accountability. My father sent a text. This didn't have to be public. I typed back one sentence. It didn't have to be a pattern. Then I muted the thread. Ethan tried later that night. A private message. Long, apologetic in tone, vague in substance. Lots of we and misunderstandings and pressure. Not a single apology that didn't immediately lean on an excuse. I didn't reply. The next morning, the numbers hit harder. Follower counts dropping in real time. Archived posts. Brands quietly untagging. A condo listing pulled without explanation. A podcast episode that never aired. People noticed. They always do. By the end of the week, his manager stopped returning calls. His inbox filled with "let's circle back and we're reassessing." The kind of phrases that mean no. My parents disappeared socially almost overnight. Country club invites rescinded. Group chats going dark. People who used to wave suddenly finding something fascinating on their phones. I didn't celebrate. I didn't gloat. I worked. I opened the studio every morning at 9, took meetings, signed contracts, booked projects months out. The same hands, the same focus, the same quiet hum of control I'd always had, just without the drain. 3 weeks later I moved, not out of shame, out of expansion. A larger space, higher ceilings, better light, a location that didn't hide me behind warehouses and excuses. I signed the lease myself, wired the deposit myself, no one's name but mine on the paperwork. The night the new sign went up, the city slowed down to look. My name in clean lettering. No explanation, no family reference, just proof. The opening booked out in 6 hours. 6. People lined up who didn't want a story. They wanted the work. They wanted the precision. They wanted what I'd always given without asking for anything back. Avery came by one afternoon. No cameras, no entourage, sunglasses on, hair pulled back. She hugged me without saying a word. When she finally spoke, it was quiet. I should have asked sooner. I nodded. I should have stopped sooner. We stood there for a moment, surrounded by light and movement, and something that felt like earned peace. I didn't lose anything, she said. I got clarity. I smiled. That's expensive. You got it for free. She laughed once, sharp, then left. 6 months passed, then 8, then a year. The noise faded. The internet moved on like it always does. My work didn't. My calendar stayed full. My bank account stayed mine. My phone stayed quiet in the best way. On the anniversary of the opening, my phone buzzed once while I was mid-session. Unknown number. One message. It's me. I have nothing left. Please. I stared at it. Not with anger, not with satisfaction, with distance. I blocked the number, set the phone face down, and went back to work. That was the final cut. Not dramatic, not loud, permanent. That night after the last client left, I turned off the lights one by one. The studio dimmed into reflection and shadow. I stood alone in the center of it, listening to the quiet I'd built. No demands, no emergencies, no guilt disguised as love. Just space. I locked the door. The click echoed clean. And for the first time in my life, I didn't brace for what came next. I was done being useful to people who never planned to keep me. I was done explaining my worth. I had receipts once. Now I had freedom. And this time I didn't look back.